Hello again everyone, this is WooTrop bringing you the second game between DarkCell and Slurgi for the Losers Bracket Round 4 of MLG Dallas 2011. Here in the 9 o'clock position on MLG Metalopolis we have the red Zerg DarkCell, and in the bottom 6 o'clock position we have the blue Protoss Slurgi. As I had mentioned, we are on MLG Metalopolis, so the positions are forced to be not close by ground, so Slurgi in the 6 o'clock position knows that DarkCell cannot spawn in the 3 o'clock, and likewise DarkCell spawning in the 9 o'clock knows that Slurgi cannot be spawning in the 12 o'clock position. And we just have a scouting overlord going to the close by air positions from DarkCell. Gonna see that Slurgi is indeed in this close by air position in 6 o'clock, and Slurgi also setting his probe out after that first pylon to scout the close by air positions to see if DarkCell is spawned at the 9 o'clock, and he will see that he indeed is. And at the same time DarkCell will almost be able to see it. Yes, he is just now able, nope, he's still not able to see it, but he does see that probe in his base, which would indicate that Slurgi is in that close by air, and indeed that Overlord sees the Nexus. And Slurgi going for that Forge First build again, so he's going to be putting up an expansion as natural fairly quickly. Neat little trick there, he's putting the pylon up on the high ground and the Forge is being powered by it on the low ground. This is patch 1.3.1 and the pylon radius is slightly larger than it currently is in patch 1.3.3. Meanwhile, DarkCell is sending out a drone scout. He does have an overlord going into Slurgi's base, sees not too much, just a bunch of probes and the Nexus, but that drone will see that the Forge is down first, and he is going to expect a fast expand, so he's going to leave that drone there to block the probe from putting down a Nexus. We do see that DarkCell did go for a spawning pool first, not going to go for some sort of macro build, getting a hatchery down as natural too quick, and Slurgi finally gets that Nexus down there. The drone gets out of the way, and he is going to go for a gas steal. So he's going to have that extractor in Slurgi's base for at least a little while, able to scout out what Slurgi does, how many probes he has, when he gets his gas. Doesn't tell horribly too much, but it does stop Slurgi from being able to do any really fast tech after that Nexus first. And Slurgi putting down a gateway and a cannon in front to provide some basic defense against these incoming Zerglings from DarkCell. DarkCell taking both his Zelnaga towers with the two Zerglings that he produced. Two more are going to go scout out the front of Slurgi's base. That cannon will be up before they get there, or right when they get there. So they will not be able to do too much, and it's just two Zerglings anyway, so they won't be able to harass probes much in general. Meanwhile, DarkCell is getting down an extractor now, so he's going to be getting gas, getting that Zergling speed, I would guess. And just droning up for the time being, getting two queens, going to connect these two bases with creep, spraying creep tumors with that second queen. Hatchery is almost finished, so he will have that up soon, transferring some drones to that natural expansion. And Slurgi is putting down his cybernetics core, getting his first gas, so he will be able to get warp gate research by the time that cybernetics core finishes. And he's getting gas at his natural as well, getting 3 gas pretty quickly, so he will be going a little more tech heavy than just counting out units. And meanwhile, DarkCell is also getting his second gas, so he's also going to be going for some sort of tech, not going to be focusing too heavily on economy, but he does have quite a few drones. Not fully saturated in his main, but getting close to that point. Slurgi is just scouting out with that probe, making sure that he's DarkCell's not taking a quick third, which he is. So that probe gets in there just in time to see that drone going for the third right when he puts it down, putting down a proxy pylon right outside that base, but there is a Zergling that will stop that pylon from being made. That extractor in Slurgi's main is still going, so he's not going to be getting a massive influx of gas. and DarkCell will be able to see some of what Slurgi is doing, but nope, Slurgi building right outside the site of that extractor, so he does not see all the gateways going down. Getting 4 gateways, so he does have that one in front array made, so he's going to be able to put to 5 gates. Getting warp gate research. DarkCell is getting metabolic boost, the Zergling speed, so we'll have that very soon. Also putting down a roach warren and getting layer tech. So we're going to see possibly some sort of push in the front with the roaches taking out the cannon. Only has 1 cannon in front right now. Not many units, just 1 sentry and 43 probes out for Slurgi right now. DarkCell has 4 Zerglings and 43 drones. So the two are dead even on workers. DarkCell starting to pull ahead a little bit with that 3rd hatchery, which just finished. Getting a queen over there as well, so he's going to be able to inject larva and get his production going quite a bit faster. Slurgi just finished his warp gate research, and he also put down a Stargate and a robotics facility. So we're going to see some Phoenix play as we did in the first game between these two. And I would assume that we're going to see a Colossi, as the Protoss army is just so much stronger with those Colossi out. DarkCell getting a good saturation on his natural, but looks like that he transferred over from his main, so his main is not quite as saturated. His 3rd is going right now, and if we look at the income tab, Harvesters for DarkCell is 52 right now, putting down a couple more buildings. Putting down a lot more buildings, now down to 50. And Slurgi is at 52. The two are fairly close in income. DarkCell a little bit ahead because of that first base. Just putting down a bunch of extractors for more gas and also getting a spire. So I'm going to assume that we're going to see some kind of Mutalisk play, getting Mutalisk to just harass the left side of Slurgi's base, which would be fairly easy for him to do with those Mutalisk, and Slurgi taking on the extractor, putting down his own assimilator, but not actually getting gas right now. So he just wanted that assimilator, wanted that extractor out. Slurgi's also putting down his 3rd, has some stalkers out, has an observer, a couple of sentries. Not too many units out still, has a couple of Phoenix, which are going to be going around the map, hunting down overlords, I would assume. And DarkCell setting in a bunch of Zerglings to this 3rd, roaches and Zerglings coming in. And we're going to see this base easily defended with all the cannons that Slurgi has right now. That is a lot of cannons, but it is also all being powered by 1 pylon. 2nd pylon is going to be going up here soon. Almost finished powering up these 2 cannons here, so they will not die. They will not become useless if that 1st pylon dies. We have Ventral Sacs coming from DarkCell, so we're going to see some sort of drop play again, I would assume. And Slurgi is putting down a Twilight Council, so I would think he'd be going some sort of blink play, maybe charge, probably not charge because he saw roaches coming out there and probably want stalkers more than anything else. DarkCell sees those Phoenix coming in, doing a little bit of harassment, throwing down a few Spore Crawlers, getting 5 Mutalisk, so that was correct call for me earlier, and also getting the +1 for ground attack and armor, as well as the +1 for air attack. Slurgi is on +2 ground attack and just finishing his ground armor level 1. He is getting blink and an infestation pit coming down for DarkCell right now. Not too much going up on the map, both of them just macroing up a little bit. DarkCell patrolling around that gold base. He still has control of those 2 Xel'Naga towers, which is quite vital in these sort of positions. Slurgi is not able to go anywhere without DarkCell really knowing, except for those Phoenix, which are going to be crossing across the, or just patrolling around the airspace between the 2 bases, making sure any drops don't come in. Getting a ground armor level 2. Ooh, DarkCell is also getting 6 Corruptors to battle those Phoenix, because the Mutas do not do a good job of that at all. DarkCell is also putting down a Baneling nest right there, so we're going to see some Baneling drops on top of the army during the engagement, I would think. And DarkCell has also got his 4th up and running right now, just transferring some drones over. And Slurgi is getting his robotics facility, so we will see some Colossi out. Did he make anything else out of that Oh, that robotics facility, just the one observer. Both of them are tied at 79 drones or probes, respectively, and their economies are just absolutely booming right now. Slurgi is up to 80 harvesters now, both of them dead even on income, even though DarkCell does have that fourth base, but he is not mined out of his main or natural or third, not even close. So we do have air attack level 1 coming up for Slurgi, so similar to last game, he's going to be getting those Phoenix a little bit more powerful, able to take out the Overlords a little bit faster, anything that's in the air a little bit faster. And +2 melee, ground carapace, and air attack for DarkCell, so he is staying up on his upgrades quite well. Also getting 16 banelings right here outside of Slurgi's third. Could see some sort of bust coming in through there. Oop. All of DarkCell's flying air units are patrolling the airspace between the two bases, possibly going to do some harass, but does not have too many mutas out right now. Just 4, so Slurgi did pick off one of those mutas earlier. Here they come in and engage, and easily wiping out the rest of Slurgi's Phoenix. Right there, Slurgi does still have 3 flying around somewhere, and not really sure where they are, sitting outside the natural right now, not doing too much. And meanwhile, his corruptors are just sitting over his base. Mutas coming in. Slurgi does take out one of those mutas. Not a very good trade for DarkCell, but DarkCell is dropping a bunch of Zerglings into Slurgi's base right now. Slurgi not having any units there, can't really respond. Only 3 Stalkers, but that's not going to be enough against this number of Zerglings. But if he does not, now it doesn't even matter if he brings over the rest. He's just going to take out a couple of gateways. Meanwhile, oh, Slurgi and DarkCell fought over here apparently. DarkCell losing that battle, but winning the harassment battle in Slurgi's main, forcing him to pull all of his probes off, taking out a bunch of production, taking out more Phoenix, a few Zealots getting warped in, taking out the Zerglings, but they are just spread all over his base, attacking whatever buildings he can. Slurgi blinking in, taking out whatever corruptors he can, and DarkCell is forced to retreat. Meanwhile, he does have his 5th base up, and Slurgi does start his 4th, but there are roaches attacking that. Hopefully Slurgi notices that and starts to, there he goes, sending in some Zealots, but he'll need a little bit more. Has a couple of Stalkers there, just idle. Thermal Lance finishing for Slurgi right now, so his Colossus will come out with Thermal Lance. Does not have one in production yet, does not have one out either. He is getting a Dark Shrine as well, so we'll see some Dark Templar, possibly some Archons. Again, patch 1.3.1, they are not quite as strong as they are currently, so I would assume he's just doing that for the Dark Templar. And melee attacks level 3 coming down for DarkCell, and Void Ray coming out for Slurgi. An engagement here in the middle by the Slurgi's gold, just a bunch of Zerglings against pretty much Slurgi's entire army, so those Zerglings will just have to run. Maybe do a little bit of harassment to this 4th base. Yes, he does. He's not doing anything. That probe was just dancing around in the middle of all those Zerglings. Slurgi's army catches up and is easily able to take out all those Zerglings, and DarkCell just